to Breakfast Essentials.
Today we're going to be making something that most people would mess up on, waffles.
We're going to be using a waffle iron by Villaware. So, let's get started.
First, I'm going to be pouring in 3½ cups of mix and then cracking 2 eggs and putting them in a bowl.
I'm going to pour 2/3 of a cup of oil in 2 cups of water. We're aiming to make 6 waffles, but we don't really care how much we make. One cup, which I'm just going to mash up really well with my whisk. I'm going to wait to pour in my oil and water after all the mix is in. Make sure there's no clumps. Even when there's no liquid in here, 2 cups, you need to make sure that there's no clumps. Because then, you would have big clumps in your waffle, and that's just weird. Three cups. Make sure if you ever spill anything, just get a paper towel and clean up your mess because you'll probably spill water or something while you're trying to make it. And then just 1/2 cup. So I'm going to pour in the first cup of water.
And set these to the side.
And I'm going to go get 1 more cup. If you want, 2 to 3 waffles, then use about 1½ cups. If you want 45, 4 to 5. I said 4 to 5, but believe me, I did. Then use 3 cups. And if you want 8 to 10, then you're going to need to use the whole box. So here's my second cup of water. And I'm also going to need 2/3 of oil. Here's 1.
Here's my second egg.
And don't worry if this is getting to look really soupy, because you can't make a waffle if it wasn't soupy. So it has to be very soupy.
And now I'm going to pour in the eggs.
And here's that second.
Throw these in the trash.
And make sure it's not too thick. If you need to add a little bit more water or oil, that's fine. But we don't need to. Because if it's all clumpy, it will be a lot harder to make. So try to make it as smooth out as you can. I'm going to set these to the side. And when the waffle iron beeps, I think we'll be ready. Or if we just put our hand around it and see if it's hot enough.
I'll check it right now.
It should be a yellow color. I'm going to show you.
Make sure you clean up your mess when you're done.
Make sure it's not too light of a color. Here, let me do this the easy way. The waffle iron here feels very hot, so I think it'll be ready.
And it looks ready. Now don't we have to spray it?
Yes. I'll get that.
Now we're going to spray it to make sure that it doesn't stick to it, so when you're ready, we can take it out easily. And don't forget that step.
You don't need your whisk anymore. You're going to use a wooden spoon or a metal spoon.
So I can go put the whisk in the
So I just have Pam Original No Stick Cooking Spray. So I'm just going to move the camera. You can see when I open it, there's steam. That means it's very hot. So I'm just going to spray some down there and up there. You don't want too much.
You just want enough to make sure it doesn't stick.
That means it's ready. So I'm going to go over and take our mix. Okay. Just pour it in. And okay. You want to make sure that you pour it in the center of the spot so everything can spread out evenly. And we're just going to
We're just going to make a pretty small one.
Because we're just making small pancakes. And see, it's going to spread out.
And
So that's
then
why
what
you
you're
just
gonna-
want a little bit.
Then go ahead and shut it so it can start to cook. And in a few minutes we can check it.
And then we can keep on putting more pancakes in.
So while we're waiting
But
for that,
we're only going to show you the footage of one waffle because that would take too long for us to show.
And then we're going to show you how our choices of toppings.
We're not going to put it on. Right now, we're just going to put syrup on it.
And maybe some butter.
But we're going to show you some of the toppings that we like to put on it. So, right now, we are just going to keep this. If you don't want to make any but one and you still have a little leftover batter, what you can do is you can take either aluminum foil or cling wrap, which is this,
And spread it over the top of it.
that way, and then stick it in your refrigerator. That way, it won't get old.
And the waffle looks like it's ready.
so it'll just probably be in there for another minute or two, but as you can see, it's already been cooking for a little bit. So the waffle iron is pretty good and it cooks pretty quickly, so that's good.
And never put batter in a toaster.
So we're going to actually do two. How about two pancakes?
So
We'll do 2 pancakes for you. And that means it's ready.
So
I'm
we'll
going to get a
plate.
plate.
I'm going to move our oil and corn out of the way since we don't need it right now.
And then we're going to be putting the pancake.
I'll get a fork.
And right after her.
I'll get a fork to take out the waffle.
And right after her, I'm going to be pouring
Never
another
pick
pancake.
it up with your hands because never pick it up with your hands because you can burn yourself. So an easy way is just to pick it up with a fork and slide it on there. And as you see,
Looks good.
It looks nice and light brown. So it looks ready. We're going to close our iron for another minute.
And let it heat up again.
But right now we're just going to stir the mixture a little bit longer.
Just to make sure it doesn't get like
Just a
soupy.
bit. Here's
like
the waffle.
clumpy.
It looks pretty nice and brown. So what I'm going to go ahead and get out is syrup because
This one's going to have syrup and butter.
Syrup and butter are what most people would think would be on a waffle, but some people go way out farther than that.
So, some of the things that we like to use
Are peanut butter.
here is our, so we're also, for our syrup, we're just using Aunt Jemima light syrup.
Oh,
And-
peanut butter.
Parquet fresh and creamy taste butter.
and we like whipped cream.
So you can, and for the butter, you can either use a spreadable or a stick, but sometimes the spreadable is a little bit easier to put on the waffle. So I'm going to set this right here.
And we have jelly. We'd like to put that on too.
And believe it or not, some people like to put whipped cream on their waffles.
We do. So,
There's
Here's
lots of
the-
different things.
Here's
you
whipped
can
cream. It tastes great on waffles.
put. So you just tell them what you're talking about.
and sometimes we like to put fruit on there. But since we're all out of apples and stuff, I just decided to tell you. Alright, so I think our waffle iron is ready.
And then we will be pouring in the second waffle. Let's go over here and check it.
It
looks good.
nice and ready to me.
So I'm just going to pour in.
And after a few waffles, you can spray a little more Pam in it, but we only did one so far, so
It should
that
be
will
good.
It's okay if it's a little off-centered. It's gonna
because
be
it won't
fine.
really matter.
And
So
so now I'm going to close it.
I'm going to go ahead and close it, and the thing will beep when it's ready.
As you've seen before.
So,
So, make sure you always wash your hands before cooking. We washed our hands before this, so yeah, we didn't want to put it on camera,
so we have lots of things that we like to put on waffles. Most normal things to here would be the syrup and butter, but peanut butter and whipped cream, they can be really good too.
we also like to put jelly, and sometimes just to add a little bit of fun. Excuse me. Sorry. Just for a little bit of fun.
Can you see? So also I have a stick of butter because some people like using the stick. I prefer the spreadable.
I prefer the tub too.
Yeah, because it's just easier to put on your waffle, but you can use a stick too, so we have both to show you.
And that is the sound that our waffle is ready.
Sometimes we also like to
I'll put this.
Sometimes it's fun to put sprinkles on there too. So this is blue and this is yellow. So I think I'm gonna put some on mine.
What we're gonna do right now is we're just gonna go ahead and put the other waffle on top of this one because we don't use
That one is the perfect
This
one.
one looks absolutely
This one,
perfect.
that
It's
one
nice
looks
and
perfect.
crunchy.
That one is
This
what
one
all
looks
your waffles
great.
need to pretty much look like.
The first one.
The first one is a little burnt and a little messed up, but that's okay because that was just the first one.
Plus, if you put toppings on it, you won't even be able to taste that.
Now, if you just look at this one on both sides, it is perfectly toasted and it's crunchy too, not just soft. This one is what you want them to look like, okay? The second one.
Alright, so we just made our two, so now we are going to put stuff on them. So I'm gonna cover this with cling wrap over here and put it in the fridge.
And then we're going to be putting the waffles in the middle so we can show you what ingredients we're going to be using.
I'll get one more plate just so we can show you like two different ideas of stuff you can put on waffles.
And she just put it in the refrigerator, which is great.
So we can keep it nice and cold, and if you put cling wrap on it like we did, then you can have it for a couple other days too.
So we have our two different waffles. We'll show you two different ideas of stuff you can put on them. Here is a fork, and I'll get a knife too to spread.
So we're going to do butter and syrup on this one, and peanut butter and sprinkles on this one.
So
this one will be the more crazy one because this one it got a little burnt, so it needs more of the flavor.
So
that one is just a natural waffle.
And I just have two butter knives to spread with.
Alright, so Megan's going to put on the peanut butter, and Holly's going to be putting on the syrup and butter.
And it's easiest with the syrup and butter to put on the butter first because once the syrup is on there, it's kind of hard to spread it. So I would put the butter on before the syrup, and you can just spread that just like you do with peanut butter.
And have fun with the sprinkles. We also have chocolate ones and whatever, but I thought just colorful sprinkles would be nice.
Really, you can use whatever kind of sprinkles you want.
It doesn't matter, just be fun and creative. If it's around Christmas morning, use
Red
red
and
and green
green.
ones.
So just spread a little on there.
And the peanut butter makes a great stick for the
Oh, and for 4th of July, you can use blue,
We have
red,
that.
white, Halloween, black, and orange.
So I'm just going to take the syrup and pour it on there. And that looks really
And we
good.
will come show you the beautiful waffles.
And even though so here's the traditional butter and syrup.
And
here's the crazy
one.
Peanut butter and sprinkle one.
So, and the peanut butter and sprinkles might sound a little nasty at first.
But it's actually
But I mean, whatever
can
your
try
taste
it.
buds are.
You know, if you just try it, you might actually like it.
And if you don't like peanut butter, there's always substitutes. If you don't want sprinkles, you can do peanut butter and strawberries. Or I don't even care. Just
I think
use what you want.
I think our waffle's ready for some more. So I'm gonna get the pan again, so we can get because we've already done two, so we just want to get a little more to make sure that we can get them off without sticking.
Well, we're just going to go ahead and prep it for the next pancake we're going to be making.
Because there's 3 of us, we only made 2.
So that is all for today.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.